Am I finally watching the bear on this channel? Yes! If you don't know, and if you don't follow me on social media, you wouldn't have seen that I'm like the biggest fan of this show called The Bear. It's on Disney Plus or Hulu in America. It's like my favourite thing that I've ever seen. Ever. And I never really thought I'd ever do a video on it because I've always made it known that I'd like just keep this show to myself and I was just going to watch it on my own. That is true. I will not be watching season 3 because yes, it got renewed. I will not be watching that with you all, but I wanted to do some The Bear propaganda, and basically we're going to watch a couple episodes together, and I'm basically going to just hype this show up so that you watch it too, because if you're not watching it, you're missing out. So, if you want to see the full-length reactions to these episodes that I'm watching right now, they will be available down below on my Patreon. If you want to check me out on my social media to see what I think of season 3 of The Bear when that drops, feel free to follow me there, and subscribe. Would not complain. Let's get to 60k. Thank you. Yes, chef. We are going to watch first episode of season 1 and then episode 7, the review episode, because that is the greatest episode of this show. No, actually, no, not anymore, because season 2, I love season 2, but I'm not going to jump into season 2 with you all because spoilers. I don't want to spoil the show for you. I want you to watch it for yourself, but we're going to watch the first episode of this season and then also my favourite episode of this season to give you a little taste. Okay? Okay. I have now watched this show about 3 or 4 times, and I am looking to do a 5th rewatch. Season 2 I'm yet to rewatch, but I'm looking forward to doing it, and I'm going to make my brother watch it with me, so I'm excited for that. Especially for the Forks episode, and the Fish episode. Ooh, cinema. Cinema. This beginning, a little goofy. I don't know what the bear was representative of. Was it him taming his own beast? Possibly. But this is like a one and done thing where we see the bear once, like the bear, and then that's it. Because I'm pretty sure he is the bear, or like the restaurant they want to eventually make is the bear.
25, no, I ordered 200. Pay for 25. Take it up a live.
He couldn't care less. I mean, Amanda's the delivery man. He couldn't care less about your 250 pounds of beef. He needs to get to the next shop.
Yeah, no, we're really grateful to still be open after everything. Yeah, so listen,
and then they're saying that to still be open after everything and you don't know the context yet, but you want to know, right? There's only one correct answer there.
Tina. You unplug it, it won't work again.
When was the last time you emptied these?
I don't know.
And I promise, Tina here, the character growth, next level. Same for Richie. We'll get to meeting him though. But if you're someone that likes a show that's character based, you're definitely gonna love The Bear because it's definitely more of a character based show than a plot driven show. So character driven stories, if they're for you, this show is for you. He's a busy guy because not only is he running this restaurant, he's also doing the social media posts. He's a social media star. He's an influencer. But I feel like this is the reality for a lot of businesses now, especially with the rise of social media and the pressure to get your work out there through social media. Same with authors as well now. A lot of them are like being forced to be almost influencers to promote their books, like Victoria Aveyard or Aveyard. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, Miss Girlie. I haven't read your books, but love your social media posts.
Hi. Hello.
I love her so much. She is everywhere now and I love that for her. She's such a good actress and she really shines in this show. She was also in Abbott Elementary. Slay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean...
Hey, Marcus, I need a double order of bread today, okay, chef?
Come on, Carmi, I've been telling you for the past 2 weeks the mix was fucking and I gotta do all this by hand. Plus, Tina keeps messing with this.
I would love to know what actual chefs think of this show though. Is it representative of your kitchen life or is it exaggerated? I feel like this is a very accurate representation. I'm not a chef, never have been, probably never will be, but it just seems very grounded in reality.
The girl. Yeah, that's Sydney. She's helping us out today. Michael's system makes no
sense. And also how they constantly say that in this show. They're always like, there's a system, because Carmi has just come into this restaurant and they keep telling him there's a system in place and that Carmen's way of doing it is wrong. But they never tell him what the specific system they have is. It's just like Tina, it's an old tradition thing.
Fuck off.
Gracias.
Insta's completely like blowing followers, dog. Yeah, I got, what is that, a diss? I got 36 followers.
30 followers. And he's like, it's blowing up. No offense to the small people of Instagram. But that is just hilarious. He's like, it's blowing up. And he's probably got like 5 messages on there.
What is this?
This is Sydney. I'm staging today.
So they don't explain it really, but from what I'm understanding, staging is just someone who can come in and kind of see how a kitchen works, which is pretty cool to think that that's something maybe you can do. I don't know if that's actually a thing that happens in the real chef world, but to think that people can just go into these places and work there for a day or a week and see what the life is like is pretty cool. I know they're doing it for free. It's free labor or whatever, but where else can you do that? You can't do that in like any other workplace. So if this is a real thing, that is pretty cool.
Don't be rude and start doing a million things like a smart ass. I don't remember having time to take care of your mom for 6 months.
Also, besties, right now you're probably looking at me like I'm insane that I'm going to tell you that Richie is one of my favourite characters. But he truly is, because once again, this is a character-driven show, and they're all such strong characters. Richie may be one of the strongest ones in this show. He's a very complex character, and I'm telling you, when you see season 2, you're going to feel the same way too, and you're not going to think that I'm crazy for that. I could talk about this show all day, so if anyone down below or anyone watching is a fan of the bear, hit me up on Instagram and we will talk about it together. Okay, we can start like a little club.
Housekeeping means you have to clean your stations because this place is gross. I refer to
They've been musty, dusty, crusty this entire time.
I refer to everybody as chef because it's a sign of respect, and I never said I could.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna pause it there. I love as well in the show that he does that. He calls everyone chef, and it becomes such a thing. And I'm like, yes, chef, in my day-to-day life, even though I don't know any chefs and I'm not a chef. But it's great, it's grand. But the reason I like it in this show as well is because he plays it off like, because the reason why he's saying chef is a sign of respect. And that's totally true. That makes sense. Like, call everyone the same thing so there's no hierarchy. But I guess if you were in like a really big place, like you were Gordon Ramsay level and you're working this really massive kitchen, it'd make a lot of sense to call everyone chef, just so it's never awkward if you forget someone's name. Imagine you're in a really big kitchen with like so many people working there. It's almost impossible that you're going to remember everyone's name and not have like a moment where you blip one day. So I guess to call everyone chef just eliminates that problem altogether, and it will never make someone feel left out or awkward because everyone's referred to as the same thing. So kind of iconic.
I said it doesn't make any sense on this menu, so it is done. The end.
Also, just want to say that I love Jeremy Allen White in this role. I saw him previously in Shameless as Lip Gallagher, but he just eats this role to another level. And also Carmi is such a complex character as well, and I just love his character in this, and he just makes it so good because he adds like the vulnerability to Carmi that makes him really appealing to wider audiences. Even if this show seems quite vulgar and intense at times, everyone here's got a different side to them, and you see it throughout the show.
2 hours late?
2 hours longer. Wrigley didn't deliver enough meat this week.
Why didn't Wrigley deliver?
Because we're out of money.
I did forget to mention that this is a very anxiety-inducing show, as you will see by the next episode that we watch together as well, which is episode 7 review.
In fact, that's the point. It's already ultra confusing. Yeah, homie.
Also, I don't know if this is true, but apparently Fak, the actor here, is from like the chef world. Let me know down below who he is, because I don't know how true that is. I just read that online and it may have been something that I misread. It's actually hilarious, and if he is an actual chef in real life or like a known one, because they just have him as a maintenance guy in here who can't cook to save his life. The bear growls kind of goofy.
All right?
Hold on a second here.
Cousin,
we're just hold on one second. We're just trying to get some work done here. Capiche?
This is so frustrating. Like, he's trying to make the business work, just as they said it's failing and struggling. Look, I'm a vegetarian, but that looks like a great piece of beef.
Smell like this place.
He's stinky. She said, you're smelly. Have a bath, have a shower, please. Like, I know his fingers just smell like onions all day long. Don't take a good whiff of those because they're going to be stinky. Call them sausages.
It's more confusing.
Right there. Labeled chili flakes.
He's literate. Oh my god. Leah Michelle, who?
I'm okay. Okay?
One thing as well I love about this show is they've always got like background noise going on. It doesn't matter who's talking. You will hear like the places around them still going. It's very grounded in reality.
Yeah.
I love you.
He's so cold. He could say it to his own sister. Especially after everything. But he's kind of emotionally not there at the beginning of the season, as just seen in that moment. And that is something they will go deeper into throughout the show.
Come on, what do you think?
It's redundant and white, just like you.
Heard. Tina, salt, eat, it's tender.
Delicious or impressive?
Delicious is impressive.
Word.
Her mind.
I'm grateful for Philip K. Dick. In fact, you're up. Me? I'm
But see what I mean again with the background noise? They're talking, but you can still hear the arcade machine in the background, and like one of them going on their phone and everything. Like, it's not detached from reality. This feels like a real conversation with real people in a real room.
Cousin. Yo, it's getting crazy out there. Come give me a hand.
bro. This is on you.
He's not entirely wrong, but it is frustrating to see them not help Kami out when all he's trying to do is make this a business that works. One thing I want to say, nerds aren't going to get violent like this. I know my community, and this is not representative of it. The last thing nerds are going to do is fight. Especially when they're this deep into it that they're dressing up and cosplaying.
You win! Free Italian ice for a year! Yeah!
When I said free Italian ice, I still don't know what that is. What is that? Is that like a sandwich or a drink for a year?
And you're gonna goddamn recycle.
Richie said save the planet. He's gonna save global warming single-handedly from his little speech. Not all heroes wear capes.
I do not care what you do up in Napa with your fucking tweezers and your foie gras. You got no fucking idea what you're doing here. So we are gonna stick with what works.
Again though, it doesn't entirely work what they're doing. And it's funny because they always beat down on Kami for being someone that's worked in such a high-rated like Michelin star restaurant, when throughout the show you will see it makes him actually like the most qualified, as you would have kind of guessed, to be here. Because when things go wrong, he's the first one that can kind of switch on that part of his brain that needs to make things work properly in the restaurant. We're actually going to see that in the next episode, but they do constantly beat him down for having worked in such a high and renowned restaurant. But all in all, it actually makes him the most rounded chef he could possibly be in this situation as well.
Heard, chef.
The tide is changing. That's like his first sign of respect in the kitchen from any of them. And it feels so rewarding when you hear Marcus say that to him finally at the end of this episode. Like he's finally getting through to them bit by bit. Cinema. That was the end of the pilot episode of The Bear. Now, if you want to stick around and watch episode 7 together, feel free. But if you want to then watch the rest of the series on your own right now, feel free to dip out here. We'll not take that personally. But again, if you do want to check out now episode 7 together, which is my favourite episode of season 1, then we're going to watch that right now. Will it have spoilers? Maybe, possibly, but this is a show that doesn't really have many things to spoil, especially in season 1. It's just like laying the foundation, and again, it's character driven, not plot driven, so there's not too much to spoil. But we're going to get into the greatest episode of television. Kind of funny that they start this episode with a calming kind of song, but that's completely the opposite of the entire vibe of the rest of the episode as it takes off. They put you into a full sense of security. Masterminds. Just want to point out, one of the things that everyone talked about in regards to this episode was the fact that it's all done in one take, primarily, I believe. Like, maybe from this point onwards, it's all one take, which is very impressive, especially to do in this, like, tight kitchen area. Like, they had to choreograph it down to the T, and no one could mess up a line. It was basically like a theatre play, this episode. And you're still not here watching this show? The disrespect is potent.
You set up?
Yes, chef, ready to go.
And it's clear more changes are coming.
Chef, stop reading that shit. We got a lot to do today.
Basically, they got a good review for their restaurant, and Sydney may have had something to do with it. It may have been something she shouldn't have technically done, but she bagged them a good review.
That encapsulates all. This was the risotto with braised beef. The rice was luscious with...
As you can see, she does not want him to carry on because Kami did not approve that dish to go out.
Louis.
Yo, what are you reading?
Hey. Oh, a review. 5 stars.
5 stars?
Oh, shit! It's nothing.
5 stars. That is not nothing. 5 stars. That's the Magic Stars serving size.
Sydney, you blowing somebody down at the Telegraph?
Yeah, Richie, that's exactly what...
Cannot defend the sexual harassment that goes on in this workplace with Richie, which makes it difficult to like him in this. But again, Very well-rounded character. But my god, some of his comments towards Sydney, they're not it.
Thank you, Ibra. Beef all day? 100, chef. 100. Thank you, Richie.
Okay,
Go
so
fuck
here they
yourself.
are, like, letting us know how much stock they have of each thing for, like, customers. Yeah, so we've just heard him say all of the things that are ready to go and that will be done all day, like the amount they can give out. So it's not the highest number, but also not the lowest, but you need to keep hold of that for what's to come.
What's not on the menu is the risotto.
Okay, well, if there's confusion, let me help clarify something.
I don't
okay?
like confrontation. It makes me anxious. And this feels so real. I don't want to see two people argue. I see that enough in my day-to-day life. See, it's all been one single shot as well, and it continues like that for the rest of the episode. I love cinema. But also, this is when the chaos starts because these to-go orders are just flying through.
You left the pre-order option open.
Okay, no.
Girlie messed up bad.
That means we have 78 slices of chocolate cake, 99 french fries, 54 chickens, 38 salads, and 255 mini sandwiches.
Remember earlier when I said they told us how much they had of each thing? Well, yeah, they're kind of screwed, is what this just told us now when he reread the amount of orders that have come through. They're booked and busy, may I say, like, congrats to them.
Shut the f*** up! Shut the f*** up! Let me think for a second.
Not the best for the anxious girlies out there. But also, cinema. You know, I will sacrifice my anxiety for cinema.
Get them searing, roasting, tina, sausages, burgers, hot
But I mean, also, it's kind of hot that Kami is a man of action. Like, the way he just switches up straight away and kind of tries to solve this problem. What does it say about me that I'm kind of, like, into this? She has issues.
bag, Sharpie, label that shit, please.
But yeah, there's more orders coming in right now. Pause. And the one thing I want to say about that, like the fact that they keep having orders come in, is look, I don't work in a restaurant, like I said before, I'm not a chef. But the logical thing to do here would just be turn it off. Because he was like, earlier in the episode saying about turning on the orders. So surely, in their heads it was already off before that, even though Sydney messed up and it was on for orders. So there is an off switch, which means they could have just turned off the orders, so that no more came through whilst they catch up with the orders that are already in, rather than adding to the problem and adding more orders to the day. They need me in that kitchen because I'd have solved it just like Kami, but I'd have solved it better.
Marcus, where are we on cakes?
Get in there.
Marcus was in fact not getting there.
What big of a deal? Chef!
See, you could probably see in the background there, I've paused it poorly, but Marcus is like obsessed with baking and he loves like baking. This is his love. I love words. But a lot of the fandom kind of argued that this episode is very out of character for Marcus because they're in this high stakes situation and he could not seem to care less. Like, he's more focused on making a donut when what they need him to do right now is make a chocolate cake and like cut it up and get it ready to go. But as you can see, couldn't care less. And it felt like it was out of character for him. But also I would argue people can have off days. And also he makes it known throughout the show that he loves cooking, but he's not necessarily someone that's fit for the restaurant environment as of this season. Like, he does well, but I think this episode shows that well, that he is someone that loves cooking but not necessarily the work environment of a chef. And whilst people argue this isn't a good representation of Marcus's character that they've seen previously, I think it's pretty good. I think it makes sense within his character. I don't know, am I arguing with the wall? Let me know what you think.
Stop. Everything, fire everything.
Just seeing all of that makes me, and all of them coming out still, like, just turn the box, like, just turn the orders off.
Get the fuck off! Thank you!
Bruh, I could not do it. I could not work in a kitchen. Props to anyone that does. It just seems so intense. I couldn't have someone scream at me like that. I'd just cry.
You didn't say corner.
And he's not wrong.
It's fine. Please finish your prep.
And not her going off at Tina. I know Tina was a pain this season, but she had growth. And I was so worried at this point in time that it would make her growth go back and revert to how she was. But you'll have to see the rest of the season to see how that works out, okay? Is this a changing point for Tina? Is this her villain origin story? I don't know. Ooh, I hate this bit, I hate this bit, I hate this bit.
Oh, you're gonna fucking stab me?
fucking will.
Yeah. Jardera, shut the up!
That is foreboding though. The "are you gonna stab me?" Scream who? Ghostface who? Honestly, she would eat up. Ao would eat up a role as Ghostface. So bad. I need that now. But oh my god, okay. Was that even a mistake? Was that even an accident? Because Sydney, it's not like she couldn't see him backing up into the knife, you know?
Many factions, many groups, all fighting for power.
But this is a masterclass on how to keep rising tension in a show in a very grounded, normal workplace. It's just great. And camera work. It's so beautiful. Whoever worked on this episode, a godsend. I hope you get all the jobs you want. I hope you are booked and busy.
I quit is what's going on.
Quit?
Yeah, chef.
Right now?
Fucking quit.
This was like the worst time for her to quit, but as you could see, she was at her breaking point this episode. And again with like the kettle sound in the background. That's what I was saying all along. Just stop the orders. Turn it off. And then the fact that the last thing we see that it says the rules on the wall, they were kind of not following any rules this entire episode. Their whole system was out the door. It was shooketh to the core. Bars. It was just a chaotic kitchen with no rules. So the fact that it ends up with the rules being the last thing you see of this show, well, this episode. Cinema. Thank God that we are alive at the same time that this episode graced television. I don't want to live in a world without this episode of TV or this show. Anyway, that's the end of us watching The Bear and me finally converting everyone to The Bear fan and making sure you all go watch this ASAP if you haven't already. This is my favourite show. Once again, if anyone follows me on Instagram, you'd have seen that's all I kind of talk about. And I will be rewatching season 2 soon. So if you want to see my thoughts on season 2, I'll post it over there. I may even make a few reels about it. But for now, that's that. That was very fun to geek out over this show with you all. And I hope some of you geeked out with me too. But for now, gonna leave that there. Go watch the show. Go rewatch the show. Rewatch it with me. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.